Hey, ladies. Hey, my queens. How are you? Welcome to the Queen's Circle Live. Oh, my goodness. I am so excited to have you all join us this evening. Let me get this mic right. I am so excited to have you, ladies, join us this evening. And I want to get started by asking you, what if the reason your hair feels fragile isn't because it's vulnerable, but because it needs gentleness and not force? So let that land in your spirit. So tonight, we're not fixing broken hair, right? We're learning how to support our crowns that needs gentle care. So there was a moment in my life where I really saw that my hair was fragile. It was growing at a snail's pace. And I was just wondering, why is my hair not thriving? I really felt like my hair was in trouble, right? And so I um started complaining. I was just constantly focusing on why my hair wasn't thriving. And so I noticed at that time in my life I had a little more stress than I needed, right? And I was complaining a lot, and I really just did not know what to do. I was moving fast. I would shampoo my hair, and I was just so rough with my hair, right? And after I took after a while, it I didn't notice that right away. So it was after a while I noticed that. And after I noticed that and I became aware of it, I literally slowed down, and I really started giving my hair time and attention, and really taking what I consider hair care is self care. I really started taking that really seriously, right? And so high porosity doesn't respond to pressure, it doesn't respond to roughness, right? It responds to presence. It's that's his love language: time and attention, gentleness, right? That's its love language. And I say it's because our hair has a life of its own. And our hair's life depends on our life and what we're going through and what we're doing to it. So when I talk like it has a life, it really does have its own life. And the life of your hair will show up based on how we're living, how we're treating it, our diet, our exercise, and our hydration. So, queens, I have a lot that I want to share with you this evening. And so let's get centered and let's get focused on this affirmation that really resonates in my spirit. And I want to share it with you. I always like sharing affirmations, and it's just really affirming who we are becoming, right? And so let's get centered. Let's put our hand on our head, which is our crown, and then one hand on our chest, on our heart. And I want you to really focus as I'm speaking this affirmation. I want you to focus on it. And then if it resonates with you, I want you to believe it. My confidence is a testimony of God within me. Let that settle in your spirit, Queen. Let that settle in your spirit. This confidence isn't loud, it's rooted, and your hair can feel it. I'll tell you again. I said it once and I'll say it again. You know how people have plants, and some people say when they talk to their plants, the plants respond. It's like they're greener, they grow faster, they're more lush. And it's the same with our hair, right? I told you, I pray over my hair, and it has really, really been thriving in the last couple of years since I've been really paying it more attention. And so we're going to talk about softening fragile hair, holding moisture longer, supporting our crown, which needs gentleness. And so tonight begins our high porosity Sisterlocks series. And so high porosity hair, like what is high porosity in the first place, right? So high porosity hair absorbs moisture quickly. And as quickly as it absorbs moisture, it dries out that fast, right? And so your hair may feel dry and fragile and brittle and inconsistent. Some days it feels dry, and then sometimes it feels moist, right? And so this type of hair requires consistency and not extremes, right? Consistency and not extremes. So high porosity hair is not difficult, right? Your sister locks are not difficult. They are honest. It tells us exactly what it needs. Now, when we stop trying to overpower our hair and start partnering with it, everything changes, right? And so tonight I'm going to share with you how to partner with it. And so high porosity hair thrives with moisture layering, right? Gentle moisture layering. It thrives with protection and not a whole lot of manipulation and styling and pinning and all of that. We're going to learn more about that. It thrives with rhythm and not reaction. Again, consistency. And so the moment that we stop blaming our hair, we reclaim our peace. And this is where our confidence returns. Gentleness is not weakness, it's wisdom, right? It's wisdom. It's nothing wrong with really coddling your hair and being gentle with your hair, right? It's nothing wrong with that. Some of us rake our hair. We're just so rough with our hair, and it's really, a lot of it is really a reflection of the stress that we have in our lives, um us moving fast, not really given the time. We're just too busy to give a care, right? But tonight we want to change that. And so let's talk about why high porosity hair feels fragile. First of all, the cuticles are more open, right? They're rougher. It's like velvet material. So pretend like this. I have two strings right here. And you all know I like to use object lessons a lot, right? So pretend like this is a hair strand, and this is your cuticle going down, right? Well, sometime, depending on how dry your hair is, it seems like the cuticle is going up, right? It's up. And that means that it's exposed and is dry and frail and yeah, fragile, right? And so moisture, when your hair is in that stage, moisture easily escapes, right? And it dries out faster. And so the more you spray, it seems, the drier it is, right? The more fragile it is. And your hair reacts quickly to the environment. So, stress, humidity. Some people, when it's humid outside, their hair gets really frizzy, right? It depends on the texture of your hair. And so, your hair isn't weak, right? It's just responsive to the environment, to how it's handled, etc. Right? And so let's talk about how to hold moisture longer, right? So you want to hydrate your hair before you oil your hair. So what I mean by that, and I'm going to give a little quick demonstration. Let me put my towel down here, right? So say like again, this is a hair strand and this is a hair strand, right? And so with this hair strand, I am going to just put some oil on it without hydrating. And you're going to see the difference on how the hair responds, right? So this is my avocado oil, right? And so I am simply oiling the hair, right? Sorry, let me move my hand. I am simply oiling the hair, right? And all it's doing is just simply oiling dry hair, right? It's the same. It's just oil on top of hair, right? Now, this one, I am going to hydrate or moisturize the hair by spraying the hair, right? So I'm going to spray the hair. Let me see. I'm going to lay it down here and spray this hair. Spray this hair, right? So it's wet, it's damp. Let me spray it a little bit more, right? It's damp. Ooh, that smells good. It's damp. And so now I'm going to oil the hair, right? I'm going to put some oil on the hair and you can, if, well, you can't see it the way I see it, but maybe you can. The oil is literally absorbing into the strand. Whereas this hair, this strand, the oil is just really sitting on top of the hair. This strand, the oil has absorbed into the string, right? The hair. And it's more pliable, etc. You see this one? It's more, let me turn it this way. It's just oil sitting on top of the hair. This one, the oil is literally absorbing into the strand, and then I mean, I'm sorry, the moisture is absorbing into the strand, and then the hair, I mean the oil is sealing in the oil on the strand. Let me say that again. So when I sprayed it, I moisturized it. And then the oil is literally sealing in the oil. The oil is literally sealing in the oil from the moisturized strand, right? You can see that, right? And so you want to moisturize and or hydrate your hair before you literally just only put oil in your hair. We want our hair to be flexible and pliable, right? And that makes it stylable, much more stylable. And so that is what I wanted to show you in real time, right? And when we do that, our hair experiences less breakage, less fragility, right? And so that is how we hold moisture in a little longer. Is first hydrate before you oil your hair, right? We want our hair juicy and full, right? And so that the way you get it juicy, y'all, is to steam your hair. That's like the ultimate. That's like the big burst of hydration. It's like pouring water in your hair and bringing life back to it, like a flower, right? So, like when you have a bouquet of flowers and it's been sitting in your vase, your vase for a couple of days, it's all good, right? But then it start kind of wilting a little bit. But when you change the water, put a little sugar in there a little bit, right? It just start blossoming again. And that's what our hair needs, right? When we shampoo it, it's all good. But then we need to also follow it up with a big burst, a gulp of hydration. Then we seal it in with the oil and the conditioner, right? And so that's how you hold in that moisture longer. And then you want to layer it, like I said, with the oil, with the moisturizing spray and the conditioner, right? That's what you want. You want it to be lightweight, but effective. And then you want to protect all of that moisture goodness with a satin or silk bonnet, a satin or silk pillowcase, right? You want to cover your hair. Now, when you're out in the garden, like I love gardening, right? When you're out in the garden and when you're cleaning your home and when you're laying on a blanket that has a lot of pile, a lot of lint, you want to cover your hair up, right? You want to protect your hair because with sister locks, when you get lint in your hair, it's almost impossible to take it out, right? To pick it out. So you want to protect your hair. And that also protects the moisture in your hair. So moisture stays longer, right? It holds moisture longer when it's in a more favorable environment. And all those things have a lot to do with the environment. The satin or silk pillowcase, the satin or silk bonnet, right? The oil, the conditioner, the spray, the moisturizing spray. And, some people really need all these things. I know I needed all these things. Not everybody needs these things, but when you know your hair, you know what it needs, right? And so let's talk about supporting our crown, which needs gentleness, right? Gentleness is what makes anybody's hair thrive and flourish, right? And so we want to switch products less and less. Consistency, I'm telling you, less is more rhythm, right? More routine. And you may get tired of the routine, but your hair doesn't, right? Remember, I said pick a day that you can show up for yourself and for your hair every week or every other week. Pick a day, right? Use fewer products. I'm telling you, less is better, right? Less is more, so to speak. And so you actually get to save money. This hairstyle really should not be that expensive to maintain. It really shouldn't. Um, it will save you emotionally as well because when you are worried so much about your hair and spending all this money on this product and that product that's really not designed for your hair type, that's why it's so important to know what your porosity is, right? When you know that about yourself, you can save yourself emotional pain and time, money, etc., right? And then the way we support our hair is not styling it so much, right? Let it be, let it rest. Everything needs rest, right? Sometimes we style our hair, we pinning it up, we're putting it in tight ponytails or tight French rolls. I love those barrel locks, when you put the barrel locks in and you have it all nice and together. But sometimes that's a lot of pressure on your scalp when your hair is that tight, especially for a long period of time. You're compromising your hair follicles. You're making your follicles weaker and weaker. And I don't see how some people, it just makes my head hurt just looking at it, right? The style is beautiful, but to have it in that style for a long period of time, can you imagine when you're laying down, how when you lay down, how that is just so painful? Maybe because I'm not tender-headed per se, but I tell you, laying on that, on those barrels, those big French rolls, and with the pins in there and all that, it's I don't see how they can do it. But so that's when you need to just let your hair be, let it rest, just like you need to rest. Let your hair and your scalp rest, right? So healing your hair begins with a settled, calm spirit. Right? Decrease the amount of stress in your life and decrease the anxiety in your life. This not only will your hair benefit, your spirit will benefit, your whole life will benefit from it, right? And so in the chat, in the comments, let me ask you a question. Where have you been pushing your hair too much? Is it through styling, pulling your hair, wearing too tight of ponytails? How have you been stressing your hair out? Like in what area have you been stressing? Are you rough when you're shampooing your hair? Do you scratch your scalp? Because I highly recommend you do not scratch your scalp when you are shampooing your hair. Is that new news to some people? Try to not scratch your scalp, because what that does, it damages your scalp, right? It it it's not good for your scalp, right? And so be gentle. What I do is I massage my scalp when I'm shampooing my hair. I rotate my scalp, right? And then I just simply squeeze the shampoo throughout my hair like this, right? And then I take the ends and I just do just like this, like you see me doing now. This is exactly how I do when I'm shampooing my hair, right? And so this is how my hair started recovering, because remember I said I used to be rough with my hair, right? And so so in the chat, let me know, where have you been pushing your hair, like trying to make it be something that is not yet. It takes time and patience, right? And when has it really been asking you, through the way it looks, to be gentle? Meaning, it looks broken, um it looks dry, right? The ends are really frayed. When has it been asking you to slow down, take your time, and be gentle with me, right? So I want you to answer that if you can. Hello, Barbara Ray and Stephanie, how are you? Oh, it's so good to have you ladies on with me this evening. I am so grateful that you ladies are here this evening. And I want to if any one of you have an answer for that question, that would be great. That would be great. And so I am going to spotlight the products that I highly recommend for high porosity hair in a few minutes. But let me kind of summarize what we've learned already on the board. And this week I am going to write on the board. I like writing on the board. Let me move Starsha. I keep saying Starsha, right? Stella out the way, right? And let's see. Let's see here. Here we go. Okay. So I am going to just summarize what we've already learned this evening, right? So we learned that high porosity hair, right, needs gentleness and needs you to slow down and don't rush it, right? So high porosity, we're talking about high Porosity, right, Sisterlocks and its needs, right? That's what we're talking about tonight. High Porosity Sisterlocks, okay? And so it needs gentleness, right? It needs gentleness. And it needs you to slow down, right? And not rush. Not rush. And the reason that is because it takes time for your hair to absorb the moisture, right? So what we're doing is transforming what high porosity hair normally does, right? So what you want to do is really, I like to call it water wash, right? You want to really saturate your hair well first with just water before you even put on any shampoo, before you put any shampoo in your hair. You want to water wash. You want to squeeze your hair, let the water run through your hair, right? And squeeze your hair really good so that it can so that the water can absorb into the hair strands, right? And once you do that and your hair is really saturated and hydrated, then you put your shampoo in your hair, right? Not, and it should not take a lot of shampoo. What you do is dot the shampoo throughout your hair, right? This shampoo should last you a while, depending on the length of your hair. And so you want to be patient and you want to really hydrate by water washing your hair first and then dotting the shampoo in and massaging your scalp, rotating your scalp, right? And then squeezing the shampoo throughout your hair, right? And then you want to open your hair out at the roots and just let that water run through your hair so that it will rinse all of the residue out of your scalp and your hair. A lot of times that is a lot a reason why our hair and scalp is dry too, because we leave the shampoo, the residue from the shampoo in our scalp, in our hair, right? Well, we want to thoroughly rinse our hair. At least twice do that, right? If your hair is really, really oily and dirty, then you may have to wash it 3 or 4 times. But really, you should be able to get by, especially if you're doing it weekly. If you're washing your hair and having your me time weekly, your hair, unless you, it depends on where you work as well, right? If you work in an environment that's really dusty and dirty, etc., then you may have to wash it, wash it 2 or 3 or 4 times, right? But if you washing your hair and doing that me time week to week, and not really, and that's also when you're as you're exercising too, because sometimes we sweat a lot in our head. So but if you're doing the me time and having your hair care as self-care time, right, then you should be able to get away with twice shampooing it twice, right? The first shampoo is you're really focusing on really water washing and then really getting that shampoo saturated through your hair. So that's why you squeeze it through your hair, right? And then you want to rinse it thoroughly. Open your hair and let the water just run through your scalp and your hair. And then do it again. And this time, focus on cleansing your actual hair, right? The first time is your scalp. The second time is really cleansing your hair. And then at the end, focus on your scalp and rinse really, really thoroughly, right? Okay, I took a little time on that one. That was when I was actually doing hair. When I had clients that came in for a shampoo, that was their hair would be sparkling, their scalp would be fresh, right? That's one main complaint with a lot of people, that for people that have locks, is that their hair has an odor because it's not clean good, right? You just think just washing it with water is fine. No, you still have to cleanse your hair and your scalp, right? So thoroughly cleansing your scalp and your hair is number one, right? All right. Just wanted to share that. Okay. So another takeaway is that your confidence, when you're consistent and you see the results in your hair, your confidence goes through the roof, right? And so that's when we can develop hair peace. When we know we look good. You know what I'm saying? When you know your hair looks good and it's thriving and it's improving, that builds your confidence, right? And then when you have hair peace, it's because you now have developed a system, right? And your hair literally responds. You have a system now that you can go by, and then your patience and you giving it grace, right? And so your confidence is actual proof that God is present in your life because it shines through your skin, through your smile, through your hair, right? It even details in your crown, right? It's not that you're vain, right? But that you feel pretty, right? You feel pretty when your hair is together. Don't you feel pretty, right? You feel confident, you feel happy, you feel like like you're in a good mood. You feel like, honey, I'm gonna go and get that job promotion, right? Or I'm gonna get that man, right? You just have that confidence and you attract, right? You become attractive and you start attracting things and people and positivity in your hair. You're optimistic, you have a good attitude, etc., etc., right? So it's so important to to really take time and nurture your hair and your scalp. Now, a beautiful scalp produces beautiful hair. So I always like to nurture my scalp. That's why I'm really particular about the products that I use in my scalp and on my hair, right? And so the last thing is that when you do all this, you can experience hair peace, right? Hair peace. And certainly consistency is what gets you there, right? Consistency is what gets you there, right? That's what helps us with our confidence, etc., etc., right? So I wanted to share that. Now, let me share with you the products, right, for high porosity sister locks. Dun, da, da, da. I want to introduce to you our Lavender Luxe Therapy Collection. Our Lavender Luxe Therapy Collection, right? And so these products are handcrafted for fragile, high porosity hair. They're soothing and calming. They're moisture supporting to your scalp, and it encourages softness to the scalp and comfort. So we have here our lavender clarifying shampoo. Let me show you here, right? This is our lavender clarifying shampoo, right? Especially for sister locks and natural hair. And this is sulfate free and is hydrating, right? And so this shampoo is awesome for clarifying all the sweat and the dirt that's in your hair, yet is gentle enough, right, to not strip your hair of the natural oils that it needs, right? So that's our lavender clarifying shampoo, especially for high porosity hair. Then we have our lavender conditioner cream for deep nourishment, right? For deep nourishment. And all these products have a really nice amount of lavender essential oil, right? This I really love. This here, this has lanolin, coconut oil. Let me let you know what's in it. It has aloe vera juice, right? Castor seed oil, vitamin B5. It has coconut oil, kosher vegetable glycerin, jojoba oil, lanolin, right? All the good stuff that really nurtures your scalp. And this cream is excellent to leave in as a leave-in conditioner. You can also slather this on when you get ready to set your hair. This is our thickest conditioner. And it's that way, especially for high porosity hair. It really coats the hair and nourishes the hair and penetrates deep into the hair strand. And the lavender essential oil is calming. It smells good, right? It gives you a sense of relaxation and peace. And then the lanolin is a humectant, right? The humectant is important because it actually draws moisture to it and seals it, right? And then the coconut and jojoba oil nourishes and soothes your scalp and is loaded with vitamin E and vitamin A and all the other goodness. So this one is my favorite, literally my favorite, right? And then we have, let me show you this, our lavender and castor oil. The base of this is castor, right? Castor oil, and it has a nice amount of lavender essential oil in it. And almond fragrance oil. That's all that's in this. This is our thickest oil. Now, this oil, you don't need to just trickle in your hair and use like you would the avocado oil um, or the argan oil, right? Or the rose oil, right? The rose petal oil. This is our thickest oil. Sometimes I use this oil as instead of gel in my hair, I will use this oil and I will just put it around my edges and I'll just smooth it into my edges, and then I'll tie it down in my hair is flattened. Now I have 4C hair, so it's not going to be like that wavy flat, right? But it flattens it a little bit more than normal if I didn't use anything in it. But this oil lasts a long time. This oil I would definitely encourage you if you have edges that are fragile around the nape of your hair and then like some thinning here. I would definitely just kind of trickle this, a little bit of it in those spots and massage it in good. It's really thick, right? So you don't need a lot. And this oil here will really nourish your scalp, right? Castor oil is really, really good for your skin, for your scalp, right? And of course, scalp is skin, right? So that's our lavender and castor oil. And then this is our lavender moisture mist, right? It's really, you can use this daily, right? It's our daily spray. And so you can use this to wake up your hair even more, right? During the week, to re-moisturize your hair. It's refreshing to your hair. You can use this when you want to spray it and then braid it or roll it up. Like I had my hair in big braids, right? So these waves are a little bigger this time. And so what I do is just spray my hair. And let it, it's damp when I spray it, and then I'll braid it and let it stay in there for a couple of days, and then I get this result, right? It smells good and fresh, right? And it's lightweight. So this is our Lavender Luxe Therapy collection, especially for high porosity hair. Now hey Debbie, how are you, lady? Now, I am going to give you in the chat, I'm going to give you some links so that if you desire to purchase these products, first of all, the store is right underneath this video, right? So you really don't have to go anywhere, right? So if you want to purchase these products, you can. I have a few on the shelf right here. This is the line right here, right? Now, so and then in the chat, I just put the link to the complete system, which includes the steamer, right? It includes this steamer and it includes all of these products and all of the accessories that you need to hold in and moisturize your hair, right? So that is the one I just put in. And then let me give you now, some people, they want, right? They want everything. And I ain't mad at you. I'm glad about that, right? And now, and then for those who want to just stick their big toe in the water, right, without really going all the way and they just want to try it out, what you get is our starter kit, right? It's our lavender crown therapy starter kit, and it includes these two products, your conditioner cream and your hairspray, your moisture mist, right? That's what it includes in our starter kit. And this is perfect for those who just want to try beautiful hair products and just see how it goes, right? So this is our starter kit right here. But for those who want to jump all in and get everything, then yes, our complete system is what you would get. Now, Stephanie and Natural Debbie and Barbara Ray, right? But those two, especially, they have gotten everything, right? And so they can attest that the products work, that it's good for their sister locks. Their hair is beautiful. And so I just want to share that with you, that these products are available for those who have high porosity hair. First of all, do you know your porosity? Right? If you don't know your porosity, go on beautifulhairproducts.com and you'll see right in the very beginning where it says stop wasting money on products or something like that. And then you click on that and you just simply take the 60-second porosity quiz, and it will, the answer to your question, to your answers, the recommendations to your answers will come up as to what porosity you have and what products is perfect for you. You may have low porosity hair. You may have medium porosity hair. Whatever your answers are, it will recommend those products for your hair. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. Now, let's talk about Beautiful Locks Club, right? So Beautiful Locks Club is really not a subscription, y'all. It's a decision to show up for yourself. So imagine not having to figure out this Sister Locks journey alone, right? Picture this. You have consistency without confusion because you're going to be guided. Stress and isolation is a thing of the past, and you have support without judgment. And you have a place to learn, reflect, take a deep breath and breathe and become the best version of yourself, right? This is the new year. It's a new year and we're looking to have a new you, right? And so I am getting ready to schedule a Zoom meeting for all of my members so that we can chat and talk and catch up. And then we're going to plan the year, right? I have a plan for you, for us, for the year. And so I want your input on it. And so I be expecting a note from me, members, Natural Debbie and Stephanie, right? Expect a note from me asking you when is a good time we can meet and then get this ball rolling, right? I am so ready to start nurturing and feeding my community. I am. Right? But just joining the Sister Locks, the Beautiful Locks Club, the Queen Circle, right, isn't really about just supporting me. It's about choosing yourself, right? It's about consistency over chaos. It's about wisdom and experience over trial and error. I am a certified Sister Locks consultant, retired. I did hair for like 15 plus years, the best career that I ever had, right? And that's all I did. So I didn't have a job on the outside and trying to do people's hair on the side. That was my job. That was my ministry, my business. And I really sometimes I miss it, the connection, right? And so I loved what I did, right? So I have lots of experience. I've done hundreds of heads, right? I started out with braiding and doing dreadlocks or locks as we call them. And then certainly sister locks. But then I let all that go. I gave all that side of my business to my daughters. And then I just focused on Sister Locks my last 8 years of my business. That's all I did was Sister Locks, Sister Locks, Sister Locks, right? And so I have lots of experience, lots of wisdom, etc. Right? And so gentleness over pressure, right? So this is a space that you can come in and just be you, learn how to settle down, right? And then you have community over isolation. And I know for a lot of women don't like crowds. They don't feel like they need anybody. We're DIY queens, right? We don't really need a community, we think, but we really do thrive in community. And it's not like every day. We're not going to be meeting every week, right? We're going to be meeting like once or twice a month. But during the rest of the time, you're going to be fed information. You're going to be fed affirmations, other things, because I'm all about the total woman. Right. And so when you step into this space, Queen, you give yourself permission, right, to show up for yourself. You give yourself permission to learn about your hair, right, and the rhythm that it needs and that it loves. You get to connect with like-minded women who understand your season and grow with you in support, right, and to be guided without being rushed. So this is really a privilege that you give to yourself, right? The Queen's Circle exists so that your confidence can soar and be supported. And so I truly, sincerely invite you to join us in the queendom, right? Queen. And so that's what I wanted to say about our queendom, our queen circle, right? And so we call this on Wednesday, we call this our Queen's Circle Live, right? And so if you are not a subscriber of this beautiful hair products channel, become a subscriber. It's free. What this does is it increases our subscribership, certainly. And then when you like the information, the education information that I give, and you give a thumbs up and make a comment, what that does is it helps the algorithm to know that this information is valuable, and it pushes it out to other people, other women that may be looking for it, just like you were. Right? So if you find it valuable, give me a thumbs up. And then if you have some sister friends, some aunts and aunties, mothers, sisters, grandmothers, right? Share this link with them so that they can also get what you have gotten, right? And um, so I wanted to also, it was something I was going to I really wanted to share with you. Oh my God, I just had a brain fog. Right? It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But I want to encourage you, ladies, to continue stewarding. And when I say stewarding, take responsibility of your crown with care. Because now, if you have not taken the porosity quiz yet and you don't know your porosity, I want to encourage you um, to go on the website, right? And take your porosity quiz. I already gave that link, right? And I meant to put the link to the Queen Circle, the Beautiful Locks Club. For those who want to know more about what Beautiful Locks Club is about, I'm going to send you to my website for the landing page, and it will give you a little bit more information of what the Beautiful Locks Club is all about, right? And so if you have not taken a porosity quiz, like I said, I wanted to encourage you to do that on the website, beautifulhairproducts.com. And that's the first thing you'll see is about taking the porosity quiz. Now, all the links is under this video as well for everything I just talked about and in the chat. Okay. And so I wanted to let you know that your hair journey is your healing journey, is unique to you. And every step that you take is personal and is teaching you who you are becoming, right, on your journey. And I want you to take your time, be patient with yourself, trust the process, right? Trust the process and give yourself grace. Give yourself grace, not just for your hair, but for your total self. Give yourself grace, right? Slow down, take time because you deserve it. And I want you to remember that hydration is how your crown returns to life, right? And so, ladies, I want to let you know that next week, wow, next week is our 12th week talking about porosity. We dealt with low porosity first, the first month. Then we dealt with medium porosity, which we ended last year, right? The last day of the year, the December 31st, 2025. And this is the first week of the new year, 2026. And we have started our High Porosity Series. We're going to finish this month out with the porosity, and then it's on and cracking, right? We're going to be learning different reasons why your hair is the way it is. We're going to have so many solutions. We're going to be solution oriented, right? I'm going to be doing a lot of tutorials. Now, listen, for you all, it came back to me, right? Now, I'm live. This is not AI. I am live, right? This is January 7th, 2026, right? For me, it's 8:23 p.m. in Mississippi. And so I am live, right? And I cannot demonstrate and I can't do all the things that I want to do here live. So what I'm going to be doing and what I have already started was for my members, for those who really want to be more intimate and get the hands-on live members only demonstrations. We're going to be doing one-on-ones, right? I'm going to be coaching more. You're going to have much more access to me, right? And the knowledge that I have, I want to listen to you, right? We're going to be on Zoom. Like I said, not every week, right? We're not going to wear each other out, but we're going to have some meaningful meetings, lives, right? Interaction where we can truly accomplish our goals. Yes, we have hair goals, right? We have life goals. We have health goals, right? And so we're going to be doing all of that in our membership. That's why I want you to join the queendom, right? Because that's where my heart is. That's where I will really be pouring and nurturing all those who stood up and said, I want more. I want more than just a live once a week, right? And so that was what I wanted to tell you, that when you do that, you're literally showing up for yourself. You are literally saying, I want more, right? I want answers. I want solutions. And this is where you're going to find it. I specialize in women 45 and up with sister locks, those who have gray hair, those who have thinning hair, slow growing hair, short hair, long hair. I specialize in sister locks for Black women that are spiritually rooted. I'm a woman of faith, and just about everybody that I know is a woman of faith. And so I can talk about God freely. They can talk about God freely. We can give testimonies, right? If it wasn't for the grace of God, right? We can say all that. And so this beautiful locks club, our Queen Circle, is your home for your sister locks. And so I'm just saying, I would love to connect with you and partner with you in the queendom. So we're going to go deeper next week into protecting your fragile hair. For those who have fragile hair, some of us are, because we are older, we have aging hair, right? And some of us, including myself, right, have hair that's fragile, a little thinner than it used to be. Some people say their hair used to be like a lion's mane, thick, right? Well, as you get older, hormones kick in, life changes kick in, hot flashes kick in, right? And so those are the changes of life that we experience physically, and it affects our hair. So these are the things that I specialize in. And so if you are a Black woman that's 45 and up, that's experiencing slow growing, thinning, dry, brittle, fragile hair, right, that have sister locks, I'm your girl. I'm your girl, right? Tell a friend. So we're going to be going deeper into that. We're going to talk more about moisture rhythm, and especially those who have thinning and aging sister lock. That's what we're going to be talking about next week. So until next week, I want you to continue nourishing your sister locks one drop at a time. All right, ladies, you all have a great day. Thank you so much, Debbie, for being with me tonight. Stephanie, Barbara Ray, thank you. And whoever else is out there watching, I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Peace. Talk to you later.